I'm not ready.
Be ready, Dylan.
Be ready.
I'm never ready.
All right. In 3, 2, 1. I wasn't ready.
See?
Hey, welcome back. Season 2. We've made it. Season 2 of Thought Process. I'm your host, Shawn Wayne. Alongside me is my co-host, Mr. DeLeon Patrick Hall.
What's up?
Didn't mean to say your full name there. Everybody knows doxed you. That's my bad.
Is that right? We can edit it out.
Yeah, we can edit it out. It's no big deal. Or then I just put a whole thing up, like a whole name tag up on
With
the
a
screen.
link.
It says Dylan Patrick Hall, and it's like it doxes you.
Links me to my Facebook and everything.
Yeah.
Well, my Facebook's still my full name.
It
I'm the
is,
only
isn't
person that knows that has their full name on their Facebook.
My full name's on mine.
It's true. But that was kind of your trademark thing.
Well,
too,
Shawn Wayne is my stage name, which is actually my real name. And then
it's your middle name.
yes, it's my middle name. Shawn Wayne Glenn is my real name. Everybody knows if you Google Shawn Wayne, my whole, biography, I guess that's how you say it, something like that pops up.
I've never used my middle name for anything other than everybody's, like, people that see me that's never seen me in person, that's friends with me on Facebook. They're like, oh, you're Dylan Patrick Hall. I'm like, yeah, because it's my full name on there. So
Yeah. Well, today we have a special guest joining us, and he is deployed to Afghanistan a couple times. We're going to have a really good conversation with him. We've been doing these, me and Nick, not really Dylan, but me, Nick, and Cody. You guys have seen him in my YouTube videos and stuff like that. We've had a really good time at Mill Sims. We've been going and experiencing all this airsoft Mill Sims stuff. There's a lot of people there that are very serious, a lot of veterans there that play it. It's really fun. We always hear good stories from him and stuff like that. Kirk is kind of, in the middle of that. He's been deployed to Afghanistan several times. We'll get to how many times he's been deployed, but I don't know exactly. But he's been deployed several different times and several different agencies he's worked for. And, thanks for coming on, Kirk.
Thanks for having me, bud. Glad to be here. Finally,
yeah. We've tried to get him on several different times, and life just gets in the way sometimes.
It'd
and
be
it's,
like that.
Yeah, it's hard to. Sometimes it's hard to get on. Sometimes it's hard for me and Dylan to do this. We've been trying to do it for a couple weeks now, so.
yeah, it's been busy.
But yeah, Kirk, you like I said before we started the podcast, you have been deployed how many times to Afghanistan?
Yeah, so I originally deployed in 2007 and 2008 to Iraq with a infantry guard unit here in Alabama. Through there was some active duty time, and then I went to Afghanistan with the same unit, infantry unit, 2012 to 13. Came home, and then I did another deployment with the Army 17 and 18. And then I got into the contracting world between State Department and then most recently security with CIA.
And is that better than what you were doing, or can you explain that to me?
Yeah, like the difference between like the contractors as to military.
Yes, because
man.
I see there's a lot of guys that we run like we're in like a bunch of groups and stuff like that, and they talk about that kind of stuff. And sometimes they'll post like different guys that we run with in the Mill Sims, and they're like, "Oh, you look like me over here when we were doing so and so," and it's pretty cool. They'll go into like detail and stuff, but I just don't know like the sort of difference when it comes to that sort of stuff.
Yeah, so like I said, I was an infantryman, so our job is to, at the end of the day, find the bad guy, kill him, enter our seas, and hold key terrain.
Yeah.
For the rest of the units to advance. But our mission, I'll just kind of go through the missions through each one.
Yeah, absolutely.
In Iraq was primarily convoy security. So our main hub headquarters was in Kuwait. We would meet probably 7 to 8 military armored up semis. That was either Air Force or Army. And then there would be 20 to 40 third world national trucks. They had no armor or nothing. They gave these guys like an old Vietnam helmet and a crappy vest. And we would escort them with 4 Humvees. We called them gun trucks.
Yeah.
To wherever they had to go in Iraq. So.
And is that gun trucks with like guns on the top? And
it was a Humvee with the turret on top.
Yeah.
And, I ran a 50, and we'd have 240s also, but spread out through that convoy. That usually when you got 100 meters in between each truck, like it's a mile or two.
Yeah.
And them third world national guys like herding cats. So we it was a good mission though, because we got to see the entire country, and we had a few contacts like IEDs and small arms and stuff like that. And mainly when things like that would happen, of course we'd stop, return fire, and get the guys out of the truck that were hurt, and keep moving, and or wait for a recovery vehicle to come. And then so that was pretty much that whole deployment, was just convoy security. But man, it was great. I loved it because again, we got to driving from the border of Kuwait, and we had missions that went all the way to the tip top to Mosul. So we're just only riding at night. Each mission lasted between 6 to 14 days probably. So
I don't feel like I could ever do anything like that, but it just seems so cool because we get into this like milsim stuff, and it is, just going to like, just getting to like do the nighttime stuff at the milsim event where you got like nods on and you're walking around, and of course it's just plastic BBs. That's all it is airsoft. But there is a lot of like talk around it. These milsim events are very expensive, and there's a lot of veterans out there that play and stuff like that. And they take it serious. They're out there, with their nods on, and they're measuring distance, and they'll take you out. And for people like me to walk around out there, then I'm just having fun, dude. It is.
Get some guys out there having flashbacks on you.
100%. I mean, I think it's happened before at some of the milsims that we've went to. I'd have to ask Nick. I think he's got something like a scene like that on video that he didn't put on YouTube, because you don't want that kind of stuff on like YouTube and
have some PTSD moments.
Yeah,
you're just freaking out.
Yeah. There. Before we go any further, I'd like to thank Yoder's Talk. I forgot to do that in the beginning. Yoder's Talk is a sponsor of the channel. They let us use their studio. Obviously, there's Yoder's Talk all over the place.
I never would have known.
You never would have known. Huh? So they let us use a studio. We didn't get to build a studio. My plans have changed. In life, plans change pretty regularly. Mine changes really fast. My plans changed. I wasn't able to build a studio at my house at the moment. So they agreed to let us do season 2 here and work as a sponsor. So everybody go subscribe to Yoder's Talk if you haven't already. They are pretty good bit, like 115,000 subscribers right now or something. Like, it's crazy. They're moving pretty fast. But yeah, have you experienced any PTSD? I was very curious about that, because I didn't know if you did or not.
Yeah, I think so. The whole PTSD thing, there's such a stigma now, that word being thrown around all the time.
And I didn't know how to approach it, because I don't know how to ask for it. Because I remember there's this one time that we were in, we had this veterans. I used to work for a production. I've worked for several production companies. And I worked for this one production company that was very unprofessional, and we were at Stonebridge. You know where Stonebridge is? Yeah. The big open venue thing. We were on stage, and we had microphones like these XLR microphones or whatever. When you unplug these, I can do it right now. I can unplug it, and it'll pop like in your ears, or pop in speakers wherever your output is going. Sometimes it'll pop real bad, like real loud, especially if you got the speakers up really loud. And I was with this very unprofessional production agency. I won't name, but it was
come on.
Not backstage. Backstage was very professional with those stuff. But the other production company I was with, the old guy was sitting there, and he was like
Narrowed it
acting
down.
like, yeah. So we were sitting there, and the old man was acting like he just like knows everything, like he's right about everything, right? And there's a bunch of veterans in here, bunch of them, and they're all walking around, guys with canes, like they're just old veterans walking around because it was a veterans event. And Seth, my coworker, was like, "Did you mute the microphones?" And he was like, "Ah, no, I'm done." He was like, I was like, he was like, "Are you sure?" Because he's about to unplug the microphone. He's like, "Are you sure?" He's like, "Oh, I'm done. Just put my microphone." So he unplugs the microphone, and I swear, dude, it sounded like a machine gun went off because you have to pull them out slow. So when you pull them out slow,
Crackling.
it crackles and pops, and it's really bad.
So this unnamed company gave you PTSD.
Not me.
The audience.
The audience, bro. The audience. Like, everybody started looking around, and it was like, oh my gosh, we're fixing to have
hit the floor.
Yeah, it's gonna be bad. And everybody. There was a real, like a 2-minute pause. There was super quiet. You could hear a pin drop in that place. It was crazy.
See, I'm gonna be straight up, man. Majority of people, of soldiers and stuff that come back, and you, all right, they're full of crap, man. Like people that just they do it to be cool, I guess, to make them seem like they seen something.
I've always wondered
The
that.
real guys that I know that truly have PTSD, like you won't know it unless you know them. I mean, it comes out in their lifestyles and stuff, but for the most, now I'm not taking away from people that really do have it, but I mean, loud noises still make me jump. But going back, the problem is with PTSD is it's used so much in our society now, especially with the weak generation and whatever y'all call them, liberals or whatever.
Snowflakes.
Yeah, there you go.
I don't know what we call them.
PTSD is like, someone was mean to me. Now I have post-traumatic stress.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, I'll bring up something that maybe we get into
Feelings.
later. Like, I went to a rehabilitation center for alcohol. 'Cause I guess you could say it was due to some PTSD issues. I started using alcohol. Anyway, but I was in there with some people, and they were I was just listening to them tell stories about what caused them to have PTSD. And this old guy in there, and he knew I was a soldier, veteran, whatever. And he was like, "Man, I'm going to tell y'all right now, I'm tired of you using this term PTSD. He's like, that is a term that's supposed to be just used for soldiers and people returning from war, because it originated, I think, with World War I or II. It was called shell shock. It's just from being in that environment, just constantly switched on all the time. But nowadays, everybody's like, I got PTSD from this and that. And I'm not saying that there is a lot of people that have trauma and this post-trauma stress.
Yeah.
But
some people use it without the trauma. There wasn't a traumatic event. They're just saying their experience, feelings, and it's like, because everybody can have it. Because like I've had, I guess, an event, like I wrecked a motorcycle pretty bad. Like both my hands, my shoulders, my feet, like I tore myself up.
It was so.
And
he was in a cast.
I was like wrapped.
Like
up
you ever
from
seen
head to
those
toe.
movies like where people are in casts like this? Dylan legit was in a cast like this, and I was driving him around in my truck. He was just like,
Yeah, I was tore up pretty bad. And I remember like going riding with my buddy in his Razor and like just being traumatized. Like I'm freaking felt like I was going to die. And that wasn't that big of a deal, but like I had that trauma of wrecking, and then everything in reality was like coming down on me. Like I was freaked out. I'm like, dude, let me ride with somebody else.
see, I heard it described like this. So like everybody's talking about points of trauma. So normally in life we have just a regular frequency, just life day in, day out, ups and downs. And then you have, let's say, a traumatic event. Boom, super high and super low adrenaline dump. For most people, those are far and in between. But going to having a combat mission and stuff, like you're totally, the traumatic events, I mean, when you roll out of the wire, like you just hear the reports before you go out, who got blown up where, and and the threat level and everything. And then when they actually happen, and rockets, mortars, whatever, boom, boom. So our little frequency thing looks like ka-doom, 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 ka-doom,
Yeah.
and then you go
Nonstop.
back and try to address it. Like by the time that's over, that's what's hard, is pinpointing what actually did it and switching it off. But it just gets such a bad term, and mainly from service members who play that game, unfortunately, and just do it to seem cool. I know some people in this community that are out there that have done it and are.
Yeah, I've known people that had alcohol abuse and they were in, military, but they never even seen combat.
Yeah.
And they would abuse alcohol and they'd take medications and stuff, and then they would like freak out over something, but then you would see them in a different light, different environment, and the same scenario wouldn't affect them at all. I'm like, most of them feel like they was just putting on a play to try to get a reaction out of someone or get someone, which could be depression too. Like you get, I can understand getting low in your life. You want someone to care about you, and you have a reaction to try to get someone to show if they care about you, and that's all mental battle too.
Like, you want to talk about PTSD? Look at law enforcement officers and EMS.
Mm-hmm.
They see people's body parts split open all the time, children dead. I mean, that's their job on day in, day out, going home and cutting that off and being wife, husband, whatever the case may be, dad, mom. Like, those are people that really have PTSD. And again, there are a lot of soldiers out there that have experienced it, but it just gets what's sad is it gets blown off because it's used so much now. Yeah. So the people that really do have issues aren't getting the care they need because it's just a term thrown out there. And it's even with the VA. The VA just, when they diagnosed me, it was just asking about instances. Have you been shot at? Yes. Have you experienced explosions? Yes. Seen dead people? Yes. So on and so forth. And they're like, oh,
yeah,
PTSD. They didn't ask you, like, how am I dealing with it at home?
They're trying to just put an algorithm to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
that's wild. I feel like when you're talking about frequencies, I feel like when you're over there, your frequency, because in my head, if I just hear, like you said, you hear about all the stuff before you go, the bombs blowing up, stuff like that. So like when you get over there, I feel like your frequency is always up.
Yeah,
because of all
in the beginning, it's really high.
I feel like it would be for me if I was to go over there.
I feel like your nervous system would be
because
on the high.
there's danger, everywhere, all the time. So I feel like my frequency would just be.
Well, then you get used to it. For an example story is when I first started contracting in Afghanistan, I was at a little small combat outpost, and man, we got mortared all the time.
Yeah.
And so, like, as a false sense of security, I laid out my vest up underneath my mattress, and then I had my Kevlar up underneath the bed. And it would happen so much, instead of running to the bunkers, I would literally just roll out of my bed and roll up underneath my bed and just do this with my helmet, and then wait for the all clear, and I'd roll back out, and I'd get back into bed.
Yeah.
And
so it's my time. It's my time.
I'm not even running to the bunker anymore.
Yeah.
Like,
so you just developed a, like, I don't know how do you say it, like a normal, normalized it.
That's it. Your brain just, but some people don't do that. They freak out and got to go home.
Yeah.
If you can't perform under it. But I mean, it all goes to the person and the personality. Like, I had a childhood with a lot of events that maybe that's why I've handled it so well.
Yeah.
The only thing that's really brought out things that people could say, or you point at, oh, it's because of PTSD, is through substance abuse and alcohol.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm sober, it doesn't bother me at all.
Mm-hmm.
When you start adding those substances and stuff to it, then that's when things come out, and I don't know how the brain works. But
you said something, you had like a little nugget there that I caught. It was, if you can't perform, you go home. What is that situation like? Is that, I didn't know that was a thing. Like, I figured if you're there, you're fighting. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So there was one dude in Afghanistan. We ran over a guy. I could tell you that story. You want to go down that road?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So, this is with the Army in my 2012 deployment. Kabul is a city that was designed originally for probably 500,000 ish people. Now there's was 3 million.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the streets are packed full. So, we're going 4 trucks, going somewhere. Our mission there was to, we were called Guardian Angels. That was during the time of the war where the majority of service members' deaths were the Afghan police and Afghan army turning on us and shooting us. So, you had all these leaders Afghan or American going out to do these key leader engagements on running the war, I guess. So we would escort them wherever it had to go. Anyway, so we're going through town, and there's Toyota Corollas everywhere. Just all Toyota Corollas. And this little station wagon Toyota Corolla, like our MRAPs are huge. Like their tires are, I don't know if the camera's big. Yeah. Not this tall. But, I mean, they're huge. You could Google MRAP.
I could add a picture of one.
It's huge. So it was coming in front of me, and I was the 4 truck. And I was like, hey, 3, watch out for this. And as soon as I said it, he, like, went in. Wait, get the camera right. He went in front of that MRAP, and that front tire grabbed the back of it and pushed it to the side. And he was just pushing it down the road. Didn't even know it.
Oh my goodness!
Those tires are just, and then I see.
Is it like digging into the car?
Yeah, it's like eating
my
it.
Gosh.
And then I was like, stop, blanking, blank. You're gonna monster truck him. Was my words. And then this old man jumps out the back hatch of the little station wagon glass, and his leg goes up underneath the tire. And he goes to stand up. I remember seeing he had a brown man dress on, and he goes to stand up, and his leg just.
Oh.
And then our lieutenant came over the radio, because we always had fender benders and stuff all the time.
Yeah, I can imagine.
He's like, hey, can we push, or is it bad? And I was like, his leg's hanging off. And then so we had to stop, got out. The crowd got pretty crazy. And then, this is, okay. So.
If it's too graphic, we'll cut it out.
All right. So the guy that we get, medic gets him on a little stretcher thing, and the MRAP has a little gate that goes down with steps that go down it. We put him in the back of my truck, and then taking him to the next base to get medevac wherever he's going. And they pull him in. I'm like, clear? And he's like, yeah. So the ramp has steps on it that fold inward, so you need a little bit of space on the inside. So we get his leg back straight, pull him in. Well, I'm like, and then I hear, well, his head's like right here beside me on the floor, and I just, and I'll just look down, and his leg's back this way because the step came in. They didn't pull him in far enough, and his leg went back over. And he was in pain. I offered him a Laffy Taffy, but he didn't want it.
He probably didn't appreciate it.
Nah, he wasn't. And come to find out, he was a German citizen just there visiting his family.
Oh,
Jeez.
wow.
Wrong
But
place, wrong time.
Yeah, his brother was more concerned about, because anytime there was a wreck or something, we gave him a sheet of paper, and we gave him like $1,000, a lot of money for their car.
Yeah.
He was more worried about that piece of paper than getting his brother out of there.
Oh, my
You get
goodness.
stabbed getting a new ride, man.
Yep.
100%. That's wild. So, like, it just turned.
Dude, it just hit that front tire, caught that thing, and just
just
flipped it, and
digging
he's
into
just,
the car. That's
pushing.
crazy.
So with that, the driver of that, he had some issues afterwards, and it messed him up because he ran over a guy.
Yeah.
Innocent person.
Innocent, yeah. And he got pulled off the road.
So he didn't look at it as like
Like an accident.
yeah.
No.
Freak accident.
And what's
Mentally
sad,
can't
like
get over it.
talking about personalities and stuff, he was the guy too, talking a bunch of stuff before deployments. This was his first one. He even had itchy tattooed on his trigger finger.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, tool. And
And so he went home.
he didn't go home. They pulled him off the
Pulled him off
road,
the-
but
They did.
it,
Driving.
depending on the severity of it, they will send people back stateside.
Yeah, I always
Probably
thought
move
that
a
was
different position.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I always thought that was like if you went there, you're just kind of you're in Afghanistan, so you're just kind of stuck. You know, there's no like coming home down the street or whatever. You're around the world.
Yeah. I mean, we've been there, though, at that time, 13 years in Afghanistan. So
Yeah.
it's not like the beginning of the war, World War II, or Vietnam, where, there's a process to get home.
Yeah.
It's pretty easy to do. And they try to facilitate people that can't. Not everybody can handle it. Like, it's,
Yeah, you really don't know until you get there
You
either.
really
Yeah.
don't know until you get there. Mr. Itchy Trigger Finger got
Yeah.
for
That's so
running over a
wild.
guy's leg.
And that was it. You
Yeah.
called it.
And
Did
then as
he-
far as contracting, though, as a contractor
Yeah.
in that world, like any issue, you're done because you're a liability with the
Yeah.
contract and insurance and all of that.
Oh, so he was just contracting.
No, this guy was Army.
Oh,
This
he
was
was.
2012, 13 before I started contracting. Sorry, we didn't get through all that time, but had to go there.
That's wild.
But
That
yeah,
is-
contracting zero tolerance. Like, you
Yeah, I
just
could,
gotta
I
have
could
it
see
together
that.
or you're
Yeah,
out.
I could see that.
Because that's like different. That's like a whole different realm.
Yeah.
Being contracted.
Did
than
you-
is just
It was really
fighting.
bad. It's funny though, because during COVID, when I was over there, they literally created for like the third world national guys, or not even really third world. There was some Baltic states. I don't know what world they're considered second,
Yeah.
but they created a barracks that if you, so it was a barracks thing. They had 6 foot tall concertina wire with Ugandan security forces outside armed, and they would back like a Humvee up to it and like shove off mermites with hot food, with all their masks on and stuff, and like they were there, and then they stopped paying them. Reason I say that is because like 2 dudes off themselves, they hung themselves, and one of them slit his wrist or something while he was
Oh
in
my
there,
goodness.
you could not, they would not let you go home. You
Heavy
were in
ref.
that little facility. So when we was over there, we was like, hey guys, if you get COVID, just stay in your room. We're not gonna say nothing because nobody's going to the camp.
That's
So-
wild.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't let nobody know you're sick.
Did you
Yeah.
ever get to?
So
Did
you
you
got
ever get?
stuck there through the whole COVID, most of the COVID situation, or the
I
height of
act-
it?
I was home when it first kicked off and they did the initial shutdown. I went back as soon as they started letting people travel for, what was the term? Essential or whatever. And I guess
essential
that
employees or
contract,
whatever. Yeah.
because we were starting to really get close to closing down Afghanistan. So, of course, helicopter is how you get. I was doing sling loads then. I think
Yeah,
fell under
hooking
the
'em
State
up.
Department. Yeah. So that was essential. And then I went there, and that contract sucked, man. It was like 4 months on minimum and only 14 days home.
Did you
Yeah, I
have
did.
COVID ever when you went over there? Or
Yeah.
when it
Oh,
was
yeah.
here?
How
I'm
did-
pretty sure I got COVID before
Before
COVID
COVID.
came in, because
A lot of
Uh,
people feel like that they did have.
this was probably 2019 is that probably at the end of 18, and because I was the last one on the compound. I was over there teaching basic leader course in Bagram, and everybody else had left. I'm the only guy on our little compound on Bagram. Bagram's huge. It had like a 12-mile perimeter fence if you walked the fence.
Yeah.
And I got so sick, like I called my wife, and it was like when I got COVID. Like, I mean, I really thought I was gonna die. It's like, if you don't hear from me in 24 hours, I mean, it felt like I've been hit by a truck, or you took that
Yeah.
golf club and hit every single joint. I was throwing up, couldn't breathe. And then, like 6 months later or whatever, you start hearing about
Yeah,
the
stuff
thing.
that's happening.
And we were going through Dubai and stuff on the way home, and then I looked around on one of my trips, and again, this is before anybody say anything, because they were talking about coronavirus in China way
Yeah,
before it
way
hit
before.
our
Yeah.
deal.
Yeah.
And I start seeing people. I'm eating sushi, and I start seeing people put on masks. And I'm like, what? Am I missing something? I was like, ma'am, what's going on? There's like, oh, a plane just arrived from China. And I was like, and there's like coronavirus. I was like, oh, let me get one of those. So, like I even posted a selfie. It was like, not today, Corona. And then it
And
hits
then-
the world.
and then it
a few
happened.
months-
Yeah.
Yeah.
A
I was
full
like, oh,
pandemic.
it's real.
Yeah, it got real.
Yeah.
How did it look like over there like that, like during that time? Were they making you like wear masks and
Oh,
stuff while you was
dude.
geared up?
It was ridiculous.
Really?
Like, yes.
I was very curious about that.
I mean, you couldn't go in the chow hall without a mask. They were writing people tickets. And like I said, if you got COVID, you went to the dang concentration camp over there.
Yeah, that's
left you in
wild.
there.
But then they would let you cut off your sleeve and put it over your face.
Yeah.
Like, it was like people here, man. Like, the mask
Yeah.
didn't even work. You're using masks that aren't doing anything.
Yeah,
I didn't ever wear one unless it was just absolutely required to be somewhere to wear one.
It
I
was
worked
insane.
at.
But we worked
They
the
would
whole
fire
time.
you.
Yeah, we worked the whole time. Never wore a mask. Never got a shot. Never did nothing. Just
As soon
Yeah.
as it happened, I think I drove because I was driving for Keystone, and as soon as it happened, I drove for. They made us wear a mask, and we drove for. I want to say I drove for like a few weeks, and when I was by myself driving, and I was delivering to like body shops, automotive shops, and they don't care. They don't play that game and
Real
stuff like
mean.
that. Yeah, so I would get out, and they're like, "Oh man, you don't need that stuff." So leave a mask in there. Don't come in this building when you got a mask. I was like,
It's
"All
almost
right."
offensive.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%. So I never had to wear a mask like when I was working for Keystone. I would only have to wear a mask like going to Walmart or something. We rarely did that. And then I got a job as an automotive advisor. It was like my first automotive advisor job, and got a job there. And they were like, we don't care about no mask. If somebody comes in, tries to tell you put it on, tell them to leave, go somewhere else.
That's right.
It was like one of those jobs.
That's right.
But so I was working for Keystone, drove a little bit, and so I didn't really have to wear a mask. And then they shut down Keystone. They furloughed everybody. And then they were like, we're going to bring you back as soon as this is over in 2 weeks. And we're like, okay, And they were like, just, take this 2 weeks, make sure you file your unemployment papers, come straight back.
Did they make you get the shot?
No.
No,
I never did get a shot.
Of course, the Army made me get mine. If I would have
never
held
got
out
one.
just a couple more months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I was like, dude, I got
Got it.
16 years in. But then I was contracting, so it was mandatory either way, so I was going to get it.
Yeah.
But yeah, got back to Keystone. They're like, hey, everybody comes in, it's getting furloughed. They're sending them out left and right. So come in, got my furlough papers. My buddy Chris, they were like looking for excuses to like not furlough us, to fire us. And I got furloughed. My buddy Chris got fired. He like kicked the door in, like all kinds of stuff. We couldn't even clock out because he like took the keyboard on the way out. Like, grabbed the keyboard where you clock in and out on. He was like, crack. The keyboard went flying everywhere, dude. I was like, bro. So get furloughed. He was like, you'll be back in 2 weeks, whatever. You're okay, cool. And
You
then
thought you was better than him because you got furloughed and you got fired.
So 2 weeks later, I get a letter in the mail that says my position's been terminated and I'm getting severance pay. So went up to Keystone, showed them, and not my buddy, my boss was like, if you take that, you can't come back for like 2 years. And I was like, where do I sign? Give me the pen. I don't want to come back. And it was a lot of money. It was like $5,000 for severance pay. But I'd worked there like 6 years. So, of course, it was like a pretty good bit.
It worked out for you.
Yeah, it did. It worked out a lot. And then filed unemployment, which was really great. So, at the time, it was really good. And then got my first advisor job, which was really fun for a while. It was all right. And then I started I went and got a job as manager at AutoZone, and that's where all that took off.
Yeah,
So, it was really fun.
COVID led me to, that, and once Afghanistan closed down, led me to the security, working for the CIA deal.
Mhm.
So COVID worked out for me, too.
Yeah. I think
So-
it worked out for a majority of people. I mean, I would
It
think
did.
it did.
And we learned a big lesson. You know,
Definitely.
Yeah.
we seen how much sheeple we are.
Yeah. Well, a lot
Yeah.
of them.
A lot of
was.
'em.
A lot of them. Like
Yeah.
I didn't care much for it. I was like,
But just all the businesses closed down. It was just, looking back on it, like, how did we let
Control.
that happen?
There's,
yeah.
But it's
I've-
good. We didn't know. You
yeah. I
Kind of
mean,
had a feeling, but like you couldn't prove it because they wouldn't let you prove it, and people that were trying to prove it were silent. So it's just like, what can you do? You know,
Yeah.
don't believe
Yeah.
them. Just keep
Whole
on going,
time we
doing what
coulda-
we were doing.
we could have just went to Tractor Supply and get some ivermectin. Everybody
Yeah.
been all right.
For real. Now we know.
we don't condone any of this on this podcast.
That's
Yeah,
my
that's funny.
Personal.
It's proven to
And
help.
I'm just
so.
joking.
I'm just joking. Have you ever?
So I was knowing you.
Yeah, imagine. Have
Maybe
you-
in the past, this wouldn't even fly back then. So we'd be shut down in a heartbeat for even mentioning it. So
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Have you ever shot a rocket launcher?
A rocket launcher. Yes.
You have?
An AT-4.
I don't know
Anti-tank. Number 4, I guess. it's a.
I don't know the specifics of it, but
It's just a one-time fire and
said you
it's
did it.
done.
that's
I mean, it only shoots one. You don't reload it.
yeah.
So-
So there's no reloading to it. It's just like
Yeah.
one and done.
Yeah,
That's it.
they're pretty awesome. They're like, I forgot how much they are. You don't get to shoot them a lot. They have a lot of the little 9mm tracer rounds, like trainers.
Yeah.
That's what we got to shoot most. But usually at the end of some training event, they're like, hey, we got 4 to shoot. And you normally let your junior enlisted guys, the young guys, do it. And
Practice.
I got lucky. I was one of the younger guys then. And it's a lot different than the movies, man. Like,
Yeah.
Uh,
that sucker's loud.
Yeah,
Like,
I can imagine.
That whole
Surprising.
back blast area clear.
Yeah.
It's a real thing. It's kind of scary. Like
I've always wanted to like shoot one, at least try it.
I've shot a lot of grenade launchers.
Yeah.
Like I had the 203 as a team leader in Afghanistan. Shoots the little. Somebody on here will be like, oh, it's not a 40 millimeter. It's something like a 40 millimeter.
Yeah.
A little grenade. Doom.
Yeah.
Shoot it. That was cool.
That's awesome.
So how much changed from like when you first got in to like now, like
bro.
technology wise and like stuff you're dealing with? Because I know like you got like
political climate.
Yeah, that too.
People.
But like, I mean, you have drones now. People just flying drones and just bombing people with drones, not even being involved as a person. And like back then, that was like kind of unheard of. I mean, you had like your unmanned surveillance.
He was like only like SEAL Team 6 and CAT
Yeah.
or Delta was getting those. Yeah, dude.
So you had your super skilled person where you have a like a soldier that has a skill that goes out and performs a job, and now you have a person
Now it's a job. It's an MOS. Like I was an infantryman. You sign up to be a drone dude.
Yeah, and then now you have a technological background where you don't even have to have a personal, physical skill. You can just have
I knew
a brain for something.
When I first realized how big the drone stuff was, as far as it breaking down to like the jobs in the Army or whatever, was when I was teaching that leadership course in Afghanistan. One of my students was actually a Predator pilot right across the way, and after getting talking to them, and his wife was too. His wife had more kills than he did. She would throw it up during fights and stuff.
So what is the Predator?
Killed more people. So it's that big wingspan one that I don't know.
So it
it's
has
probably,
a gun on it, or
it could hold
or just drops
several Hellfire missiles, and it's like precision.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the ones I know of all had Hellfires, and then there was some kind of little rocket they could use as well.
This may be, please don't judge me. This may be a stupid question, but is it the Predator missile from like Call of Duty?
Well, the Predator is, from what I understand, Call of Duty is you're calling in the Predator.
Yes.
Like what it's shooting is not the missile.
That's a man flying.
Yes.
Like somebody's driving.
Yeah, that's what I'm
right?
saying. He took me
was
over
unmanned.
there. He took me over there and showed me. So the Predator's sitting out there.
Yeah.
And he took me in this little Connex. It was probably as big as this little room right here, and it had a cool gaming chair pretty much. Like it was laid back, comfortable. It had the joystick with all these screens. And then he wound up taking me in and showing me videos where his previous deployment was to Syria. And he was like, yeah, this guy was doing some bad stuff. He's like, watch this. And he's showing me. And like you see the camera just shake a little bit. I was like, what was that? And he's like, it's called rifling when they shoot. So that means missiles away or whatever. And then all of a sudden just boom. And then he showed me one where some guys were setting up, some Taliban were setting up on a hill overlooking a Afghan army convoy, and dude was sneaking up with an RPG crawling. He's like, not today. And then used a whole Hellfire for this one guy. It was awesome. And I got to sign a Hellfire. So while I was there, it was on the bird. I signed it, and he got the number down because all of them, serial numbers or whatever. Yeah. He's like, I'll call you when we get to shoot it and let you know what happened. So I wrote on there, like, 4th Alabama, Roll Tide. And like 2 months later, he's like, hey, man, that Hellfire you signed took out ISIS, Humvee, and like 6 dudes. I was like, yeah.
Jeez.
Roll Tide.
And now, if I was to go into doing something like along those lines, I'd want to do something along because I've flown drones since, I don't know, Dylan, it's been a long time.
Yeah. It's a job now.
I just got back from drill a long time ago.
Yeah, I would build them. I would build like the 6-inch freestyle drones, and those are like, there's no autopilot, there's no like auto flight or hover or anything like that. It's all manual controlling, and then they're FPV, so you got to like put like goggles on, and then you're essentially you're in the drone basically and just flying around and stuff like that. So that's what, if I was to go into something like that, that's what I would probably pursue, is something along those lines.
It's a game changer now.
Yeah.
Like, they're essential. Like where I drill out now, I was watching a training the other day with some of the drone pilots with the little ones.
Yeah,
like this or what? Yeah. That size. And they're going through a little obstacle course, like over and under these little.
Yeah, that's what I was flying.
Dude, that's cool.
Yeah, the little 6-inch, like it's like 6 to 9 inches.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah. That's what I used to fly. I used to race them. And then I've got the DJI, like this one, like a baby can fly it. You just gotta you gotta know camera work. And this is essential, like camera work. If you want like good rotational cinematography, you gotta know like camera work, and you're using like every finger to like get that camera work right. Otherwise, you ended up like some of these shed builders around here. I won't name any names, but they'll use like a drone. They've kind of copied us, but they'll use like a drone. But they'll be like, they'll come in, they'll look down, then they'll go down, then they'll look up, and then they'll go sideways, and then they'll turn. It's like weird. They're not camera working.
It's not smooth.
Yeah.
Drones are transitioning. It's weird.
And then like if you look at my stuff's like,
you know what you're doing.
Yeah, it's like you've got like a. It's weird. It's a weird. Everything's super smooth, and you're getting like every angle. So if I'm like looking at this, and then like I'm coming up, like you'll see it the whole time. Like there's no trend. There's no like.
It's almost like you're just transitioning and hovering.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Like, they're the biggest threat right now too.
Drones.
Yeah, man. Especially have you seen the videos like in Ukraine?
Yes.
In the trench wars. Well, when I was contracting with the agency and stuff, that was our biggest threat in northern Iraq and Syria. Iran's using a lot of drones.
Mm-hmm.
They even got one in an instance. They got one in an instance that wound up following one of our predators in, and this is a drone with a 16-foot wingspan.
Yeah,
packed with explosives, and it took out a big area with important stuff.
They can go like a long ways. Like I built
it
one.
It came from Iran.
Yeah. Like I built like a little makeshift freestyle drone in my house, like a little small 6-inch that would fly like 100 mile an hour or something. Like top speed was 100, and it would go like 2 miles. And that's like the range like of the goggles and the transmitter. Like it would go like 2 miles, and you can go full 2 miles and come back. And then I was in the woods too when I was flying them things. That's crazy.
Big threat is those little ones though.
Yeah, the little bombs.
Harder to see and pinpoint. Like they actually issue little drone guns now that you aim at it and it takes it out.
Does it shoot like a net?
No, it's a signal. We actually tried it on
like
one of our drones over there, and we thought it would just kill it and it would land somewhere close by. It wounds up just losing its mind, and actually it works, but it landed in a village close by.
Oh no!
And so that caused a big deal to get out there and get it back really fast.
It's sort of like a electronic pulse.
Is
it
it
just
not doing that
confuses
again? I know if you hold the wrong spot, it'll burn your hand.
Oh, so it's like
almost like a radio wave,
almost like a laser in a way.
I guess some kind of wave. I know on the picture it's like a cone.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah, it seems like technology just flew way up, way fast.
Imagine where it'll be in like just 5 years.
Ain't gonna be people.
Just
AI?
5 years. Yeah, just 5 years. It's gonna be insane.
What AI is gonna change the game?
Yeah,
they're already talking about
cyber warfare.
Yeah, or they're already talking about like the trucks, like the 18-wheelers and stuff. They're all gonna be like self-driven, and it's gonna put a lot of jobs. You know,
that's what I was about to say, man. Think about how many jobs AI is gonna take out. Fast food for sure.
I think manual labor is gonna go back up.
Yeah, but even in plants and stuff now, they're training robots to do on these assembly lines and.
Well, this is back like
plants.
5-6 years ago. I was like, I was running one of the robots. The thing would practically run itself. I just have to stop it.
Maintenance.
You know, stop it, set it at a point, go in, clean the head because it was painting. Clean the head with like, what do you call it? Acetone or anything, something like, paint thinner, something like that to clean it off. And then go back in, rotate it back to an axis and start it, and it would go. So
where do we go from there as far as filling those jobs? Think about that. That's there's a lot of jobs.
Man, I was there for like 12 hours, and it was like every
surgeons.
Yeah, every 4 hours we'd.
Yeah, that'd be wild.
Yeah,
I don't know if we're quite that far yet, but maybe smaller stuff.
I've been hearing some stuff like we're not far. The way it's
we're
advancing,
not.
like you said, just in the past,
I think it's scenario based. Like if emergency happens, what does the robot do? You know, like if it knows how to react to certain situations, if something goes south or something changes.
I do know that they're not going to have.
AI's learning, man.
They're not going to have the same reaction that we would because we feel
emotion
and stuff like. And they won't
panic.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So they'll just be like.
But what if like the probability's wrong? Like when surgeons take like I'm gonna do it anyway, even though the probability's like 1, the computer and save somebody's life, and the computer's gonna be like,
not worth
it.
Input.
Yeah,
very much. Yeah.
There's
I know they did like micro
1% chance of success, and you just die. No chance.
They like slide me off the table. He is done.
Yeah. AI stuff, man. Have you used the Chat GPT, whatever it is?
I was every single day until JD stepped into the marketing.
No.
I use it.
I've used it like for weird stuff, like come up with a name for something.
Yeah, you just go in there and just write a story. I want a story, or
I literally use it for everything. Like you can.
Well, I work on cars. I mean, I really don't have a marketing or other side
you
to
can,
use for it.
No, you could use it to work on cars too. You can give it a brief description of what the car's doing, and ChatGPT will give you the scenario. Yeah, like scenarios of like what's wrong with the car.
You're not safe either, buddy.
I have.
You're not safe either.
Well, I think in my case, someone still has to do the work. It could tell you what's wrong with it, but it's not going to do the work
yet.
I think it'll ever get to a point.
A little longer.
Yeah, I don't think it'll get to the point. On the electronic side, when electric cars get here, I think it would be easier for those to take a component out, put a component in.
Yeah. When it does get to that point, I feel like we'll be.
Yeah. We're so far out from that though, because like in reality, the whole everyone having electric cars, our power grid cannot sustain it.
Yeah,
like at all.
It can't now.
No. We were
no way.
We were talking about the power grid.
Yeah, we talked about that before. You got to have the infrastructure there first before you start looking at.
How long is that gonna take?
Yeah, and then me and Kirk, Kirk was talking about the power grid the other day. How just exposed everything is.
Yeah,
you know,
it's like they're talking about windmill technology, and a lot of that stuff's just not. It's not efficient.
Yeah.
I mean, it does some good in some areas, but not enough. They can't keep up.
Absolutely.
It'd have to be more. I think solar. If solar could come a lot further, I think we'd be a lot better. If you could have like the renewable battery, that's a big thing too. Keep from having to mine in the lithium and it being waste turned to waste. If you could reuse it, renew it, it would be a lot more better for the environment and everything else.
Getting the government to put the money into all these areas that actually need fixing. Yeah. Not, in my opinion, billions of dollars on Ukraine.
Yeah. 100%.
Hopefully we're moving in that direction.
Hopefully.
But definitely need the infrastructure because everything is getting, if we get more plants, more production over here, it's got to have the infrastructure.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
To back it up. Otherwise.
It all piles on each other when we send our jobs overseas. No more plants. There's no reason to redo these grids.
And I think we're getting better at that, right? Like we're pulling more jobs
back.
We're
headed that way.
Yeah, that's what we got to be headed that way.
The whole point of the tariffs, ain't it?
Yeah, it's supposed to be. I think the trade war is coming to an end because everybody's kind of lowering.
Negotiate.
Everybody's wanting to negotiate right now. So this is what I've heard over the past couple of days, is people are wanting to negotiate. Most government agencies are wanting to, or governments or whatever are wanting to negotiate tariffs now. And then fair. I think China's bringing theirs down.
He just signed it today.
Did they? Yeah. See, that's
more fair.
That's what I thought.
Because all the smaller people were like, "Oh, I'm in. I can't do this." They folded pretty quick. But China was a fighter. But I think now they're realizing that we need each other.
Yeah, because all we want is like fair trade.
Yeah,
right?
They've been unfair to us, but now we got to make profit.
Yeah, we got to take care of us.
Yeah. Yeah.
So for the next 90 days, right now, the thing that was signed today, let's do on the way here, is right now China's tariffing us like 130%.
Yeah.
They're dropping it to 10.
Yeah. It was like 100,
dropping it
118 they dropped it or something.
We were like 145. We're dropping to 30.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
And that's for 90 days. Let's see how it goes.
While they still negotiate.
Which is still better than what we were doing.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're like, oh, I'm going higher, and he's like, oh, I'm going to go higher, and it's kept going up and up and up. But I mean, he didn't back down.
The wasteful spending of this country. Is just ridiculous.
Yes.
Talk about fraud, waste, and abuse. Like being in the
It's
Army and stuff,
crazy.
there's like there's posters everywhere. Report fraud, waste, and abuse. And then getting into the contractor world, which I'm guilty for capitalizing on that
Yeah.
100%. But like you couldn't even get Army guys to, like most of the helicopters going from base to base were a contracted helicopter from some Canadian or wherever country, Colombia was the name of the helicopters. And then you look on the airfield and all these Army helicopters are just sitting there.
So they're
with dust
basically
on them.
Yeah.
And
paying
then
them way too much to use their stuff.
we had a light put in on our compound, and only this contract guy could do it. And I was like, how much they pay to put that light in? It's just like one
Yeah.
single, not even a stadium light, but the big round ones. Just
Yeah.
one bulb.
Yeah.
$20,000
Go.
is what the government paid the company to put
Yeah.
that bulb in.
Just
Wow.
abusing it because they'd pay it.
Yep.
That's free money.
Looking
just
at,
pocketing
like,
it. That was
What
like
they
the,
charge for pins, bro.
Dang,
The
dude, that's what I
worst
should have
pins
got
That's
ever.
like-
into. Light bulbs.
Yeah, that's like what I don't understand. I'm renting buildings in America. Like, why are you renting this building to put this government, in there to run stuff? But you're renting this from another person. Like, why can't we own it? We just buy a building that's paid for and done.
Yeah.
Because I mean, the rent they would charge, like that one in Coleman they shut down.
Yeah.
Like that rent was ridiculous. It was like I can't remember
$400
how much it
something
was.
$1,000, wasn't it?
Yeah, like a year or something
Yeah.
like that to rent it. This building.
Yeah, they shut
to
it.
do,
They
it's
shut it.
It was like
down
a
or
Social
something like
Security
that.
office or
Doge
something.
done that, didn't they?
Yeah.
Oh, the government building.
Yeah.
In Coleman, they shut it down. They're paying
$400
like
something thousand.
$400,000 a year.
And then
in
everybody's all
rent.
mad. Like,
And it was just
my
a
grandma
small
can't
building.
go get Social Security. Your grandma
Yeah.
ain't went up
I
there.
can't remember exactly what it was for, but it was some government building that
Dude,
they were renting.
imagine, like you're just renting this building out to the government. It's
Yeah.
just like a small little building, and it's you're banking for. They probably banked off that for years, but $400 something $1,000 a year.
The most I
Yeah.
made while contracting, and I was at the low end of the totem pole, was $450 something a day.
Yeah, so that's good money.
Yeah, that's good.
It was nice.
It was
It was nice.
And you was over there, and you're working every single day, right?
Yes.
That's what. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's crazy. That's
That is one
wild.
thing. Working the State Department contract, like, yeah, it was 12-hour days, 7
Yeah.
days a week.
Because you said you had like 13 days off or something when you come back.
Yeah. And because so you had 16 days home, but they counted travel. So you had to be there
that's-
the night before in Dubai to get on the plane right over to Afghanistan, the
Yeah.
special flight. So,
Was Dubai cool?
oh, man, it's
Yeah.
great.
Really?
Yeah, it was really cool. It's so hot, though. And I spent a lot of time in the Middle East, but Dubai is definitely the hottest I've been. Maybe it's because of time of year. I got off the plane at 2 a.m., and I thought, like, the engines were running, and I'm stupid, and I'm thinking because I'm in front of it.
All this
I'm in
heat coming
front
off
of
this
it. I'm
plane,
like,
man.
Man, they need to turn that thing off. And then get on the runway, and then they have the thermometer outside, and it was 115 at 2 a.m.
Sheesh.
Like, all the construction and stuff is
Yeah.
all done at night.
You have
I
to.
can imagine.
I walked
Get
out the next
cooked.
morning to go over to Popeyes, which there are Popeyes in Dubai. And
Did
I
any
walk
good?
outside and the sun hits me, and I'm like, nope. And I turned right back around and went and paid like $40 for a piece of chicken or something in the hotel. But it's gorgeous. It really
I've
is.
always wanted to like go and see it. I think that would
Mhm.
be really cool. Because I hear a lot of stories
no
over there. And
PDA.
stuff like that. Yeah, that's what I've heard that too.
Yeah, I heard a lot of their laws are pretty strict.
You know,
I heard they're like
can't be
they
kissing
got like
on your girl in public.
Yeah, you have like Lamborghini vehicles
For
or
cops?
Yeah,
Mhm.
Lamborghini
Yeah.
cops.
Like, you'll
and
go to
stuff like that.
jail and stuff for not paying your car payment and goofy
Oh, they
stuff
don't play
like that.
around. They're very serious.
Yeah,
Very.
that's why there's so many abandoned vehicles because like people don't
Oh, yeah.
pay, then they'll just leave. They'll just flee.
Well,
and then
that's
they
like
go
in
to
Kuwait
jail.
too.
Yeah.
You'll see like a Mercedes, Lexus, whatever, Range Rover just crashed out on the side of the road. They're like, I'll get another one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How was the food overseas? Different places.
So Afghanistan, the local food was great, man. Like the lamb or however they cooked it
Mhm.
was very good. Not as spicy as you would think it would be.
Yeah.
They had some spicy food. Iraq, pretty much the same. A lot of lamb, fish. I'm trying to think what was the best.
Anything off the wall? Intestines or goofy
Like
stuff?
that.
Not that I was aware. It's not like it's really
Just
not
don't tell
like,
me.
Yeah, it's not
I
really
wanna
like
eat it.
Asian cultures. Asians go really far out with getting,
Yeah.
half birds and eggs and stuff and eating it.
I'm going with
One of my best friends is
different stuff.
Vietnamese in Laotian.
I'm going with
I've ate some
Clinton
wild things there.
and them. I'm going with Yoder's talk to Africa in August. So they were-
yeah,
The
I
good
forgot about that
stuff.
trip.
huh?
Yeah, I heard that food was garbage.
Yeah, that's what he said. They were eating like cow intestines and stuff
Yeah.
like that. I
Take
was
some
like,
lemons.
I've ate intestines and stuff before, and it was good. But man, just Africa and the lack of stuff, like it's
Yeah.
desert pretty much.
yeah.
At least like in Asian stuff where they eat this weird stuff, it's jungle and there's all kind of herbs and stuff to add to it. And
Season it and
yeah,
make it their own.
but the lamb was definitely by far my favorite.
I was watching a bunch of the videos that they brought back, like Clinton and all them. They brought back, because Conrad went over and filmed everything. And I was watching a bunch of the videos, and like sometimes they're in stores and they have like Mountain Dews and Dr. Peppers and stuff like that. And I was like, it can't be too bad, I guess,
Yeah.
because you're over there and you got all those drinks, because they're like all the time telling you don't drink the water, because
Yeah.
it's like
yeah.
50-50 chance you could.
Yeah, it's probably higher than that.
80-20.
Clinton drank the water over there. They had like a new filtration system, and he there was a video of Clinton drank the water over there, and I was like,
What's funny going
Gambling.
traveling to these different countries, like every time, like whether I went to Iraq, Afghanistan, whatever, when you initially get over there, typically everybody goes through a heavy diarrhea type
Yeah.
sickness of just awful.
Transition.
Yeah, whatever it is in the air, the new germs you're exposing yourself to,
skin.
yeah.
it's pretty bad. Like for a few
Is it
days.
dry over there? It's like
Yeah,
humid.
man. So it depends on where you are. There's certain spots of Iraq when you get close to the Euphrates and stuff like that. You get a little bit more humid from the evaporation
Yeah.
taking place in the 130 degrees,
Cause I've been to
but cold too. Like
New
Afghanistan.
Mexico and stuff, and just being out there for like a week.
Yeah,
my
just like
skin
that.
would be just dry, lips, just everything would just be dried out.
And
I
then
remember skateboarding for like a couple of hours out there, and I never sweated a drop. I'm like, man, this is freaking dry. This is
instant
weird.
gone.
Yeah.
But
It was
Afghanistan was
wild.
both very hot because it's very mountainous, then also very cold.
Yeah.
Very cold.
You get here, and it's like humidity.
Mhm. Just walk outside, and just
Yeah.
wet.
I wish we
Crazy
could.
difference.
I wish I could be like Mike Valley, take my skateboard over there and skate a little bit. That would be really cool.
In Afghanistan?
No, in
Probably not a good idea.
Uganda.
Oh,
Mike Valley went over there and built a bunch of ramps and stuff like that. It was like skateboarding with.
I work with a lot of
Kids.
Ugandans.
Really?
Yeah, man. Like they made this war effort, the global war on terrorism, really hooked them up with jobs.
Mm-hmm.
And, like they've been over there for years, and they only get to go home like once a year for a week, for like a week or two tops, maybe 2 weeks. I don't even think it's that long, and they're only making like $100 a month,
That's crazy.
something silly.
That's
It
probably
may be
good
like
for them,
400 or
though.
something, but yeah,
Yeah.
it's the
Yeah.
but not what you think when you hear that for as much as they work.
Yeah.
And-
Yeah. Because
Yeah.
I heard like $1,000 goes like a long way. $100
yeah.
goes like a long way.
Like back to Iraq in 07 and 08 when I was there, those third world national truck drivers,
Mhm.
no armored up vehicles. When we got shot at, quite a few of them passed away. But trying to take care of their family, man. This
Yeah.
is the only
Yeah.
work they had.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and they went golfing, because there's like one of the nicest golf courses over there in Uganda, It's like one of the super nice ones. So they were over there golfing, and the caddies, you have to have caddies.
Yeah.
And they were like walking around with them and stuff. And they tipped them like $100, like each caddy like $100. And they
We're
were like-
blown away.
Yeah, they
Year
were.
salary.
They said that they have to work like so many months to like even get like close to that. And it was like
That's
here
great.
it's like
Yeah.
we wouldn't be able to survive.
I want to take my kids on a mission trip because that's one thing, like going back to some like PTSD stuff we started
Mhm.
talking
Yeah.
about. one of the things struggling with coming home is dealing with the ungratefulness of people and not knowing and like just hearing other people's problems and, you know, and having to look at myself and be like, they don't know that. You can't hold that against them. Like, they haven't experienced. Yeah. But then at the same time, it's like, man, you really don't know what life's like. I've seen 4-year-olds walking down the road with freaking trash to go burn in their house, like, just to stay warm. And poverty, man, like true poverty.
Yeah, when I was younger, we did mission trips in New Mexico. That's why I was out there. We did vacation Bible school for Navajo kids, and out there on the reservations is like that.
Them reservations are rough.
There's people stealing power and water, and like it's a bunch of alcoholics out there because they're all living on the reservation, and the government gives them subsidies, but then there's nothing to do, and there's no jobs. There's not a lot going on, so they just drink. And it's scary out there too at night. There's people just walking around and just like looking in windows at stuff, and it's pretty scary. But it's definitely like that out there.
I had a
soldier. You get those people out there, and they're just like, wow, you know, we got it so well compared to what they have. And we used to take them stuff, and like that last year we went, they let us actually do the vacation Bible school on the reservation in a chapter house. So that was like a big step up last year that we went.
Yeah.
I had a soldier. I found out about the Indian stuff because he grew up on the creek one down there below Montgomery, in between Montgomery and Mobile. And man, he grew up bad. Yeah, like I guess like the chiefs, it's like anything with the government. The people in charge take all the good stuff and kind of throw out crumbs and kind of keep you. They want you to be in that poverty area so they can control you.
Yeah.
And it's really sad that it's all happening.
That
was here.
It was in Gallup for Navajo people out there.
Gallup? That's the name of the reservation?
Well, it was in Gallup.
Gallup, New Mexico?
Yeah.
It's a cool name.
It's an hour. There's an hour west of Albuquerque. So we'd fly into Albuquerque, and then we'd have to drive out to Gallup.
I want to take my kids, though, on a mission trip just so they can see how other children live.
I feel like it would change
in like Honduras or somewhere close.
I feel like it would change their minds. Like, maybe I should clean my room a little bit.
I got a room to clean.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
got all these toys they don't play with. Like, geez, they don't even have one hardly.
Yeah, that's what I think about all the time. And like go in, I'm like, God, Kenzie, your room is a mess. And she was like, I'll clean it later. You know, and I'm like. Imagine. Imagine if we was on the street.
Back in my day. You just go in there and take everything one day. Like, totally clear it out.
She would call DHR on me.
Yeah.
She's old. She's that old. She would be like,
smart.
My dad just took everything on. He'd be at the front door immediately.
Learning lessons.
I'm putting everything back. I was like, I was cleaning her room.
I was just kidding.
Sorry. Well, this has been an awesome podcast.
I had a good time. Thanks for getting me out here. I'm glad I finally could not stand y'all up again.
Yeah. We'll get you back on. I know our lives are getting a little easier. I know your life is getting a lot easier here soon.
Sir.
So we'll be able to, and a lot more, you know, there was a lot of stuff we were doing and everybody was busy. You was busy. So, you know, we'll be getting together more often. Get you back in here and get more.
Yeah, bro. I look forward to
stories.
I hope I didn't jump around too much.
Get outside of military talks. Talk about other life stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
For sure.
And then I'll be moving not long. We're getting our house done over here and getting it built. Yep. So we'll be moving pretty soon.
I wasn't able to get it. Could have just told me you never intended to.
We were working on it. Got approved for the construction loan, so we were like, let's build. But yeah, we're getting moved and all that good. So that's another life update. I haven't told anybody. I'll tell that in a regular vlog. Surprise. But yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah. Thank you.
You have a poker.
Thank you again, Kirk, for joining us on Thought Process. It was amazing as
nice
always.
To meet you.
This is
Dylan.
Yeah, this is Dylan. He's great.
Pretty cool.
This is season 2. which is awesome. We made it one full season. We took a big break. We did the subathon, and we're reevaluating that stuff. So we're going to do something else as soon as and it's going to be a lot better because we'll be over here. Or maybe I think we're going to do one more over in the garage, and then we're going to do another one over there. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, season 2 has kicked off, and we'll see you guys next week.
Peace.
Peace.
Peace.